everyone, it's Jack from Cultaholic.com. Now, before we get into this news piece, I would just like to point out that there are spoilers from this week's Wrestle Kingdom 12, so beware if you haven't seen that show already. But yes, the big news here is that Chris Jericho attacked Tetsuya Naito at this morning's New Year Dash. New Japan's it's kind of their equivalent of the Raw after WrestleMania. It's their big follow-up show where various new storylines are created. And the reason that this one is so important is because it seems to imply that Jericho's deal with New Japan wasn't simply a one and done. It looks like he'll be having at least one more match in the future, and it looks like his opponent will be Tetsuya Naito. Basically what happened was Naito was celebrating in the ring with his stablemates after they just defeated a team made up of Chaos members. They won the match, and then Naito sort of cut a promo in the ring saying, yes, I know I lost last night at Wrestle Kingdom and I have no excuses for that, but this year will be bigger than ever for LIJ. Then the rest of his teammates left the ring, allowing him to soak in the applause of the crowd at Hurricane Hall, but it also left him open to attack. And Jericho rushed the ring, the crowd sort of gave a big reaction, and Jericho beat him down. And then there was kind of a scuffle. It got broken apart by both the LIJ members and some sort of trainees around the ring, and then Jericho was escorted away, and as he was being escorted away, Naito got a chair, went to throw it at him, and then put it down and sat on it in very Naito fashion. Tranquilo. Now this sort of makes sense because if you remember in the build-up to Wrestle Kingdom, both Naito and Jericho were kind of firing little shots at each other on social media and via the press, where they were arguing about my match is the main event, no, my match is the main event, no, my match, that sort of thing, and it got very heated. But as it's now been revealed, that wasn't legitimate heat, it was just working towards a match in the future. I reckon that match could take place at New Japan's next United States show in March, I believe, in Long Beach, California, because it just makes perfect sense. It's New Japan's second ever foray into North America. Who better to headline the show than a major Western star in the form of Chris Jericho? Some other storylines that were developed at New Year Dash include Minoru Suzuki challenging for Hiroshi Tanahashi's Intercontinental Championship, and also Kenny Omega brought Jay White out to the ring, presented him with a Bullet Club shirt and said, look, I was really impressed with you, join the Bullet Club. Jay White seemed to be about to accept it, and then he went no, and nailed Omega, and then it looks as though basically Jay White is going to be feuding with Omega, potentially for Omega's United States Championship. Another huge match for Jay White, considering how young and relatively new he is to sort of big match status in New Japan. Elsewhere in WWE news, it looks as though Candice LeRae is on her way to WWE. She was, of course, a semi-major figure in the Mae Young Classic last year. She was one of the pre-tournament favorites, I think it's fair to say, given her experience on the independent scene and, of course, her relationship with Johnny Gargano, which could be factored into future storylines and all the rest of it. But she was one of the most hyped women in the tournament and one of the most skilled, in my opinion, but she was kind of a sacrificial lamb at the altar of Shayna Baszler, who quickly choked her out in a rather shocking fashion in, I believe, the quarterfinals of the tournament. But if this news is true, it'll be great to see Candice LeRae in the WWE ring again. She is, without a doubt, one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. And of course, some teams have been announced for the Mixed Match Challenge, which starts next week, I believe. The most recent team that's been announced is on the Raw side of things, and that is Sasha Banks paired with Finn Balor. And interestingly, Bayley has come out and said in kayfabe that she's very unhappy because she was planning and campaigning to be paired with Finn Balor on social media. This is interesting. I think whether Bayley's reaction carries over onto the main roster storylines will give a good sense of whether this mixed match challenge thing is going to exist totally in a vacuum or whether it'll link in to storylines on other shows in WWE. That's all for now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this quick little news update. I've been Jack from Cultaholic.com. Follow us at Cultaholic. Follow me at Jack the Jobber on Twitter, and please do check out our Patreon if you enjoy what we do. There's not much more to say except for one more thing, and that is do not forget, never ever ever forget to join us.